I've had my OnePlus 7 Pro for 3 days. I absolutely love the phone. However, there is one major issue that I have not been able to solve. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, my name is Tony and this is Talkin' Tech. Before we get started with today's video, I have some updates on the channel to provide for you. I did pick a winner for my BH046 giveaway. However, the winner has not claimed their prize. So what that means for all of you is that you have another chance to win. So be looking for a notification as I will reply to your comment and give you details on how to claim your prize. Now, if you don't win that, I will have a bunch more giveaways coming up here in the next couple of weeks as I have a bunch of products to review and I'm going to give away most, if not all of them, to all of my viewers. Alright guys, so as I said in the opening of this video, I have had the OnePlus 7 Pro now for 3 full days and I honestly really like the phone. There is a big issue with it and I'll cover that in a minute. However, I do want to cover some of the things that I really like about the phone and then some of the things that I'm not too fond of. So to get started, we're going to start with some of the things that I'm a really big fan of. And the first thing is going to be the fact that this came with its own case. Now, this is not something that I've ever experienced before where the phone actually comes with the case. Now, outside, I have to take that back. I did have that with my McLaren 6T. However, that's a special edition phone, so it came with its own McLaren case. However, this came with a clear TPU case, which I think is a really nice touch. When I get a brand new phone, I don't always have a case, or I don't have the best case or the right case. So you kind of take a shot in the dark. However, this came with a case that fits the phone. It shows off the beautiful blue back of it. I think it's called Nebula Blue. So I was really excited about that. I'm planning to do a case review on this phone. Hopefully going to do drop test. If you're interested in seeing drop tests on some of these cases, leave it down below. I'm a little leery about doing it, but yeah, I'm considering doing it. And if I get enough responses, I will definitely do it, at least with a bunch of them. All right, so the next thing is going to be the warp charge. Now, I know some of you are pretty familiar with the dash charge, but warp charge, which they released on my McLaren 6T, is absolutely awesome. I think when I first got the phone, I had about 40% battery, and I plugged it into my computer, and it was barely keeping up when I was setting it up, so I got to like 35%. I plugged it in with the warp charger and I walked away and did something real quick at work and I came back and it was at like 65%. Absolutely awesome. Just the greatest thing ever. Now I will say I did buy a 10-foot long USB-C cable to use at my house. I call it the couch charger, I guess, because you can plug it in. I have an old house, so you can plug it in and it reaches to an outlet and to wherever you're sitting. And honestly, it didn't warp charge. So leave it down below in the comments if that's a normal operation. I realize that there's more resistance in it, so that causes some issues. But I haven't had any issues fast charging with my Pixel or my S10. So I'm kind of curious to see what everybody says about that. The next thing is going to be the silent sound vibrate switch here on the side. This is something that OnePlus has been doing for a while, but I just wanted to point it out because I absolutely loved it and I missed it with my S10 Plus. It makes it switching between volume and not volume a lot easier, especially with the you're playing music or something like that. You don't have to go into the phone; it's just right there. I think iPhone used to do it. Maybe they still do it. I guess it's been a while since I've done anything with an iPhone. The next really good thing that I really liked about it, I guess it's not a really good thing, is the haptic feedback. If you're not familiar with what haptic feedback is, it's when you are using the keyboard and it gives you the vibration when you press the keys. On the 6T, I know it kind of got a lot of hate. I felt like it felt like an older Motorola HTC device, but I ultimately got used to it. However, when I went to the S10, that was quite a bit better, and this one is really nice and really smooth, I guess is a good way to put it. So yeah, that was a pretty good thing. The next thing is going to be the facial unlock. Now, I was a little concerned how it would be with the pop-up camera, but it's actually really fast. Basically, by the time I press the unlock button and slide it, it pops up. See, I just did it right there. If you saw it on video, you saw it pop up. By the time it started going down, it was already unlocked. So that's actually really fast. I was Really impressed with my 6T on the facial unlock. By the time I touched the screen, it would already be unlocked, and sometimes it was a little bit too fast for me. So this is perfect. It still allows me to do some stuff on the lock screen without completely unlocking the phone like my 6T did. I'm sorry, I'm pointing over it. I can see it over there in the corner. So I am pointing at it physically, so it's not just a random point. The next thing is the fingerprint reader. That's absolutely such a nice change of pace from the S10 Plus. I never really got mine to work on my S10 Plus. It worked if I did it in a certain way, and that's the only way. And I redid it. I know there was supposed to be a new update for it, and that was supposed to fix it. Yeah, I just had basically middling results with it. This one's a lot better. I know it's not quite as secure, but quite frankly, if I lose my device, it is what it is. And I'm gonna nuke it right away anyway, so hopefully that is not a concern. But it is fast and it's easy to unlock, and it's not as particular. And actually, I have trouble because I'm still stuck on how I did it with my S10. I had to keep my man, that was hard for me to say. I had to keep my thumb perfectly flat, and it still would barely work. And now I'm doing that, and it doesn't work. And then I'm just like, oh, I just lay it on there and it works like instantly. So that is quite a bit of an improvement. The next thing is also going to be contrasted with the S10, and that's going to be the updates. Now, something that I got pretty familiar with in the Pixel ecosystem, the pure Android, stock Android, whatever you want to call it, was constant updates. I got an update every month, usually like the first week of the month, I got an update. And this phone has been no exception so far. As soon as I pulled out of the box, it did an update basically right away while I was setting it up. So that is awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. I think I got maybe one update with my S10 since I bought it. It's been 2 months, maybe 3 months now. So that's not the greatest, and I know it's harder to get software updates on the S10 or Samsung devices, especially with Verizon, than it is on OnePlus, Google, or Essential Phone, if that's even still a thing anymore. And then one of the last things is Snapchat. So I know somebody commented below one of my last videos about the Snapchat issues with the 6T, and I actually had the same issues where if I didn't open Snapchat for a couple hours, it wouldn't give me a notification. It was like disabling the push notifications, and I would pop in there and it would have 5 Snapchats or messages or whatever in there, and I never really figured it out. And maybe it was a Snapchat issue, but whatever the issue was, it's gone now with the OnePlus 7. I'm still a little paranoid with it. Sometimes I'll just go in there and check Snapchat just because of my experiences previously. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like that issue is no longer a concern. All right, the last thing is going to be a positive as well as a negative. So the gestures on this phone, they work pretty decent. However, they are not as good as the S10. So I will demonstrate the S10 for you. So on the left, or excuse me, not on the left, with the S10, it is set up exactly like your buttons are for navigation. So for me, I have the back button on the left, the home button in the center, and then the browse apps on the right side. And you just swipe up from the bottom for that. And it works really, really well. Now, when going to the OnePlus, it's a little bit different. The home button is in the center, just like the other one. The back button is on the left or the right. And then the all apps or the browse apps, open apps button, recent apps. That's what it is. That's what I was looking for, recent apps. The recent apps is in the middle and then hold. Now, the issue that I've had with this is that I have trouble getting to the edge of the screen because there's no bezel on this phone. That it really is hard to start. With a case, I think it would be better without a case. However, I am gonna keep my flagship phone in a case because I have the case that drops quite a bit, so I don't want to break it. But it makes it kind of a pain in the butt, and I've noticed, like, if I'm in a messaging app or whatever and I'm going back to home, sometimes I'll hit the keyboard or whatever, and that's really kind of a pain in the butt. And the other thing that's kind of negative about it, it doesn't have any haptic feedback when I do it. Now, if there's a setting for that, leave it down in the comments down below because I missed that somehow. So that would be something that would be great to have, because my S10, God, I'm sorry, I'm pointing at this because my S10 is in this box. And so again, like pointing at the 6T, my S10 is right here. I know it's the 7 box, but I put it in there after work and just kind of left it in there. So anyway, so if you see me pointing there, I'm referring to my S10. That has haptic feedback, so when you hit exactly what you're trying to do. So that was that was really nice and something I really got used to on that phone. All right, so as you can see, that was a kind of a transition into the negatives. The first thing that I want to point out is going to be the screen protector, and I'm going to contrast it again with the S10 and the 6T. So the screen protector on this and the 6T, it's functional. I get it that this is a curved screen, so it is difficult to get a screen protector to actually protect it. And I used it on my S10 Plus, the standard one. However, the issue that I found with the OnePlus factory screen protectors, they collect so much dust, and really the feel of it, it's almost like it's like static. It has a lot of friction to it. If I put this in my pocket, there's going to be lint all over it, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. There's fingernails all over it, and the thing is I try to wipe it off, and it just pushes the dust elsewhere on the screen. So it's really kind of a pain in the butt, and it's like the screen is never really clean. I know it's a stupid thing to complain about, but yeah, I just really miss the days of having the tempered glass screen protector and just how that felt, because it feels so much more high quality and just like the screen. And maybe I should just go ahead and bite the bullet and take it off. However, I'm not quite ready to do that because I always seem to find a way to scratch a screen in the dumbest possible way. The next thing is going to be the lock screen notifications. So they're okay on this phone. They're pretty standard, but I've really got used to the way that the Samsung S10 did it, and I'm pretty sure that's a OneUI versus OxygenOS or stock or pure Android. Just the way that they produce that. So on the OnePlus, it is going to be just your standard white notifications, which is kind of annoying, even because even with you have dark mode on, it's like bright white. And one of the things I really liked about the S10 Plus was that you could make the notifications transparent. And then that way you can show off your beautiful screen, your background can be all nice, and all you see is the text. So with this one, it kind of screws up the screen. I mean, it doesn't make my life any better or any worse either way. However, it's just something that would be really nice, especially when you have this beautiful, beautiful screen, the Fluid AMOLED, 90 hertz, and it would just be a nice upgrade. So OnePlus, if you're listening, please think about integrating that into your OxygenOS, because that is something that I would absolutely love to have, and I think it's something that Samsung does absolutely fantastic. All right, and then moving right along to something else display related, it's the home screen. So I love the resolution of this screen, how bright it is, how big it is, but the home screen icons, the grid layout is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I have the same layout, and I'll compare it here with my S10 and my OnePlus 7, because the same icons take up the entire screen on the OnePlus, even if I can make them smaller. And on the S10, there's a lot more space, and you'll see. I'm gonna throw a video up here. I'm obviously talking over it right now, but I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, so you kind of have a better understanding. And I'm really kind of annoyed by it, because you have so much real estate, but you can't use it. And even making the icons smaller, it just makes there more space in between. Quite frankly, I think it's ugly. I know I can probably get a different launcher and take care of that issue. However, I do like to use the phone as stock for, at least a while till I get used to it, so I can really get a feel of what the manufacturer wants you to see. So again, OnePlus, if you're listening, you should figure out a way to make that grid crush or scrunch down is what I was looking for, and I came up with scrush. Anyway, that would be, something that's great. And, and one more thing to pile on top here, I'm sorry. This is another thing that I really liked about the S10 Plus. The motion wallpaper that this does not have. And again, this is not something that makes my life actually better, but it was really nice, especially again with the beautiful screen. When you tilt the screen or turn it, your image would move with it, and it would kind of show a different angle. And I thought it was really cool, especially because I had like a background with stars, and you could see different stars, or they would hang on differently. And I really thought that was pretty cool. So one of the first issues that I found with the phone is the location unlock is a little bit weird. I haven't figured out if I'm doing something wrong, but sometimes when I'm at work, usually like halfway through the day, all of a sudden it'll stop being able to be in a trusted place. And if I restart it, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't. Like right now, I'm in a trusted place, but my phone is, you'll see the camera will pop up. Yeah, I don't know why it's popping up right now. I'm in a trusted place. So if you have a reason or an idea of how to fix that, that'd be great if you could share it with me, because a new phone shouldn't do this, and I don't think my 6T ever did it. My S10, I'm pointing again at the 7 box. My S10 never did it, so I guess I don't really know what the issue is. I don't know if I need to do a factory reset and reset it up. I re-added my house again yesterday or today, and it's still doing it. And I think it did okay today at work, but I'm still a little weirded out by it and why it's not doing it. And actually, I didn't have any issues at work because I had it connected to my Bluetooth headphones, and then I have Smart Unlock as a trusted device set up for that. All right, so if you're with me now, we have the actual issue that I've had. And now here's the thing is I actually spoke to OnePlus support about this today, and they didn't give me a very good answer. So what my issue is, I prefer to use Google Messages instead of the OnePlus stock messages app. And what's happening is my messages are only going into the Google Messages app if I have that person added as a contact. If I don't have them added as a contact, so let's say, for example, my multi-factor authentication with Microsoft, or I had one with eBay the other day to verify a number, and that goes into the OnePlus messages. So the weird thing is I have it disabled, or I don't have it disabled. I have it set to default to the Google Messages app, but then I actually went in and redid it, and I made OnePlus messages default, and then I made Google Messages default, and then all those messages ported over to Google Messages. However, I'm still not able to get it. I thought it was fixed at that point, so I'm like, okay, well maybe if I try to disable this messages, it would allow me to get it into Google Messages. Same thing. The messages just didn't come in. As soon as I re-enabled OnePlus messages, it popped up right there and not into Google Messages. So at this point, I'm out of ideas. Now, I did, like I said, speak to OnePlus support today, and I gotta be honest, I'm not real impressed, even outside of the answer that they gave me. Basically, the answer that they gave me was, Google Messages is receiving messages only from people with Google Messages in Google Messages, which I know is a lie for a fact because, for example, my mother has a Samsung S4. I know, it's a really old phone. I need to give her a better phone. And she doesn't use Google Messages. She uses the stock Samsung Messages app in that, and she's able to text me without an issue. Now again, like I said, it's only people that are not in my contact list that go to the OnePlus Messages app. Now, OnePlus was very adamant about this being an issue with Google Messages. However, like I said, this is not what is going on. I can prove that multiple times. And like I said, I'm not happy with the way OnePlus support handled me today. The first chat agent just left, and then the second person just didn't listen to anything I had to say and was very adamant about it. So it wasn't a very good first impression. And then they kind of kicked me to Google support, which honestly, they don't have support. I don't have a number to call. I don't have a chat to use for messages. It's a free app. So they're not gonna dedicate a call center for it. So I'm pretty frustrated. And if you guys have any ideas outside of using the OnePlus Messages app, and quite frankly, I don't know why I don't just use it, but I'd really like to solve this issue because I gotta believe other people are having this issue and maybe they don't know that they're having this issue. Geez, I'm having trouble talking tonight, guys. I am sorry. If you've seen this issue or you know how to fix it, leave it down in the comments below. I'm sure other people are gonna find it useful as well. All right, guys, that's really all I have on this video. If you found it useful or you liked it, make sure you hit that like button. And if you like this content and you want to see more or you're interested in giveaways coming up, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And then you go ahead and hit that notification bell right next to it so you know when I post my videos, as YouTube likes to hide my content. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great night.